The Majority Report.
The way it was supposed to work was there was an executive order that the commission was supposed to send its report to Congress on December 1st, which meant that it must have been voted on and approved by 14 out of 18 commissioners. And so what happened? Well, today's December 1st. The report's leaked, but it hasn't been voted upon because these morons, no, this is smart, actually. They're cretins. They are vampires. I don't know how else to put this. These blood-sucking vampires who want to essentially take money from the middle class and distribute it upwards. I don't know how else to... I feel awkward saying that, but that's what these guys are. I think it's actually possible, though. That Simpson is actually a real vampire. You know? He's extremely old, but he's looked old for years, right? Even when he was as a senator, he looked like one of those guys who's always the same age. Because this guy was basically handed his Senate seat by his father. A real bootstraps guy. You know what I mean? One of these guys who's really sacrificed his whole life. I wonder if this guy who said that people who pay into Social Security and then get their Social Security insurance back are essentially teat suckers, as I mentioned yesterday. I wonder whose teat he's sucking off of. And I'm not talking in a lurid fashion. I'm just saying that when this guy left the Senate after getting a Senate seat because his daddy was a senator, I wonder what he did. Do you think it involved any lobbying of any of his former colleagues? Do you think he was sucking the teat of government, securing somebody some type of government contracts? I'd be willing to bet Mila's entire trust fund, my daughter's massive trust fund that I have been establishing for her over the years, that this guy has been sucking off the teat of our tax dollars. But when it comes time for us to get our Social Security insurance back, it's time for sacrifice. And so this vampire releases his commission report without the vote, even though when they vote on this at the end of the week, it's going to get shot down so that the report lives, even though it's a totally illegitimate report. That's the way they play this game. That's why he leaked it. He gave a memo 2 or 3 weeks ago because people now talk about that memo as if this is the report. This is basically one or two guys, two foes of Social Security coming out with a report. Nothing else. They have no other credibility. Zero. Dorsey may as well release a report. Evan may as well release a report. And frankly, it's going to have a lot more credibility with me. And it should have more credibility with just about anybody else. This is bullshit. It really is bullshit because you know the way the media is going to cover this. I'm going on Parker Spitzer tonight. I guarantee you they refer to this as the report. This is not a report. This is as if someone's writing on a napkin in a diner and saying, how can we screw over the middle class? Period. That's it. They don't even have the legitimacy of their own farce. And one of the goals, I think, of this farce, as written in the released farce, I don't have it here somewhere. It was basically, here it is, the goals section. Reform Social Security for its own sake, not deficit reduction. That's not even part of their mandate. And nobody in the media is going to say a word because they don't give a shit about Social Security either. Let's take a break. And And when we come back, we'll be talking to Joe Sudbay of America Blog, who will then get me pissed off about the fact that the Republicans are standing in the way. I mean, talk about this is just out and out homophobia. This is just out and out homophobia, folks, at this point. And the funny part about it is they can't pretend anymore. I don't know if that's the funny part. I don't know if I would describe that as funny. Vaguely amusing part. All right, we'll be right back after this.
The Majority Report.